Check out Reese breaking down some lambs. We've got 6 lambs hanging. He'll get them done in a good 5-6 minutes, something like that. What he's doing here right now is separating the trunk from the loin. So you're rolling your knife in between the loin joint and the chumps, the hips. Taking off the forequarters, trying to lift 4 ribs on the forequarters. Shanks off next. Boom, boom, boom. Little bit of brisket. Tip the shanks. Get them cleaned up. Off they go. Neck is next. So neck off. Forequarter split. Moving on to the barrel. So barrel, nice and easy, running it all the way down the middle. So it's got some kidneys, this one, so pulling the kidneys out. These are all for a private job. So they've got the kidneys on, they've got a weird stamp on them. They must be hogget, I don't know. I don't really read the stamps, but they're for a farm, so it is what it is. Anyway, loin split. Cutlets, we like to chime them standing up. I think it's the easiest way to do it. Look at that. It's one smooth cut. Comes off pretty bloody clean. Your hands are somewhat away from it. You're not balancing act. You just sort of let the bottom flow into the top, and off it pops just like that. It's a simple way to do it using momentum, and it's just a bit safer, I think, than like I've seen butchers do it on the side. I don't really like it. The way I learned originally was sort of like you kept the rack as 2-piece, and then you ran your knife down it, and then you turned one side in, turned the other side in. That's sort of how that was. But we do it different these days. So, off we go again. Finding that little joint, found it, and then 1 cut and 2 cuts. Nice and easy. There we go. And then from there, you can pretty much break it. So you spin it up and snap it. Pop. Just like that. Then off it comes. And there's your loin chops. Righto, so back on the bandsaw. We left the bandsaw on that time. Probably not the best practice. We try to avoid that, but it's not quiet. The bandsaw makes a lot of noise. It just goes, the whole time it's on. So, like, I don't know, it's a pretty good warning sign. You can't really fuck up and realise that it's not on. Like, it's on. Anyway, we've got all butchers here and 1 apprentice, so there's no real untrained staff getting behind here, so we're generally pretty safe. All right, 4/4 off. My favourite cut of lamb. What is yours? So this is cool. Like, with the farmer's stuff, most of the lambs that come in with us, like for us, they don't have the kidneys, they don't have the livers, they don't have all that sort of shit in them. So it's cool when you get the farmer's ones because they leave all that in there. And I don't know, it's just something different, It's just a bit of a throwback. All right, again, chiming straight off, leaving the feathers on. A lot of places I've worked in, they did them like this and they'd hang them away. They wouldn't cry back anything. They wouldn't box them up. They just do it like that, put a hook in the top and hang it. And because those feather bones are on still, you keep the eye meat really good. So it's a good little trick, that one. Anyway, he's doing our lamb ribs now. So you take the brisket off and the little bit of flat meat at the bottom where there's not really a bone, or like the last bone's sort of like a half bone, a triangle. So we take that off with the flat meat and just trim it up for sausages or burgers or whatever the bloody hell you're doing. He's packing his bench nicely for jobs. We're watching Sean do a meat tray. Look at him go. He's into it. All right, what's next? Probably another one, isn't it? Trying to find that joint again, in between the loin and the chump. Rolling around, cut the string on that one. Rolling around again. Beautiful. And then just finishing it off. Didn't bother to break it this time, just cut it straight through. So sometimes you get it quick, clean. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you need a bit of muscle. It's all good, it's part of the job. All right, 4th and 5th rib. I've only recently learnt we've got some string. That stringy cut, it just went through the blade. So that's always fun. Get rid of that. Pull all that out. There's still a little bit there. We'll see if I can grab it. I was actually a bit sketchy on this because I went to grab it while I had the phone in my hand. So I was looking at the phone screen to see where my hand was going instead of watching my hand go towards the blade. So a bit stupid, but we do some stupid shit. Righto, next. I'll tell you what, next got to be the most underutilized cut of lamb. I reckon slow cook them, and they are amazing. That it should be something that people do more often. But we still trim them out. We don't actually do anything with them. I think way back when you used to do like neck chops. People used to do in Australia. I haven't seen it really as a popular sold item in a long time. Maybe a resurgence. Maybe we'll give them a run. We'll try to run a special on them or something and see if they sell. Anyway, again, just showing that timing. I think it's the best way to do it. Straight over his head. Right. Trim. What's next? We don't really touch the lamb legs on this, so we leave the lamb legs hanging in long legs, and then we take the hip bones out on the rail. That seems to be the best way to do that. In this guy's order, requires all of his chump chops as just boneless, like lamb rump roasts anyway. So it just works out well that you can just bone them on the rail and not worry about it. I'll do another video of that later, I suppose. Sean's little meat tray. I think that was a $40 meat tray or a $50 meat tray. Can't remember who it was for. I think it was actually our plumbing mob, Tonkin. I think it was for them. They do like an employee of the week sort of thing and give out a $50 meat tray. A lot of cool incentives like that with those, bigger companies. Pretty cool. Something to aspire to, I suppose. All right, and again, line it up, 4th and 5th rib. You can just easily open up the rib cage and double check if need be, if you're still in practice or whatnot. But I don't know, you can generally eyeball it after you've done, I don't know, maybe 100 or so lambs, like not actually like a shitload, but maybe 100 or so, and you sort of got the idea, you know what I mean? 4 quarters off. So we're going back to breaking lambs for the actual shop front now. And, just trying to find some bloody lamb that's not so expensive. It's ridiculous. What a mission. Anyway, trying to keep the quality up and find good lamb for cheap. That's been a hard one this week. I didn't do very well on that. But I'll try again next week. Right, splitting this on the angle's good if you've seen that. So you're keeping that 9th rib intact when you split like that. I see a lot of people split loins and cutlets straight. But really what you should do is you should split the eye straight and turn it like that. And then you're maximizing your yield. That's one of the biggest things to do with, breakdowns, like maximizing yield. One cut can mean the difference between a lot. Looks like I've talked enough crap for 8 minutes. The video is up. Have a great night, guys. I'll see you in the next one.